Well, I have a big problem. See this tree over here? This is a huge maple. This is on the south side of my house. And what it does in the summer, it shades those windows. And in the wintertime, when it drops its leaves, it lets the sun shine through. And you don't even have to heat the bottom floor of the house. Well, I caught some guy sneaking around here in overalls that were broken on one side, and he had on a felt hat that looked a lot like this one right here. And look what I found in my backyard. So I'm here to give a warning out. I know that Junior is no good. You can see over here. See that back there? That's a dog kennel. And I just fixed it up. I welded the door up. I welded a bunch of new angle iron on it where it was rusted out. And the thing is like Fort Knox. Well, I've seen what you've been doing. I saw what you did to that 300-year-old tree. You better not be coming around here and messing with my maple. I got some of them big knives too. And I've just sharpened them up. I'm going to show you how they work. Now I know what you're saying. You're probably saying, he didn't do anything. He missed. Well, watch. See how short they are? They stay in place when I cut them. So I'm warning you, if you come around here, if that Junior comes around here, it's either going to be in that kennel, it's either going to be locked up or chopped up, and I don't care which. I made a lot of progress on the cleanup. I've got the tree down. Actually, not the tree. It's that branch where it's broken up there that came crashing down. I've got it down off the tree house. You can see how big this thing is. I put my foot on it. It was quite heavy. You can see the damage up there. And the broken window, which I just taped up for now. On the inside, the wall was bowed in. A few of the studs came free off the bottom. I was able to kick it back out in place, and I'll tow a few screws down, and it'll be good as new. I'll have to finish cleaning this up, to get my chainsaw back out, and cut up this log. I got a bunch of it cut up already, but all this brush that you see, this was all part of that tree, part of that limb that came down. And what I used to clear all that brush off, because I won't run the chainsaw into a log or a tree when you have so many branches all tangled up. I mean, the foliage was very tight. I won't run the chainsaw where that tip can get bound up. When the tip catches on things, that's how you get a kickback with a chainsaw. So I use this knife. To clear off all the branches, to delimb the tree. The Work Tough here, JXV. Very nice knife. This was a pleasure to use. One of the things that's kind of unique about this, it's not a kukri, but instead of having that the curves in the S shape, it has a fatter front end on it. And this also has an elongated handle. And if you choke up on it here, the knife is balanced. So you can do fine work with this knife without your hand getting fatigued. And if you choke all the way back here, it's great for chopping. One of the things that really impressed me about this knife is when I was chopping, there was absolutely no vibration in the handle, no discomfort, no hot spots, no sharp corners. This is designed perfectly for chopping. When Chris Tanner designed this one, he really got it right. If you're gonna use a knife to do some chopping or batoning and you want to replace a small hatchet or an axe, this is the way to go. This is the best one that I have used so far. Well, I've got to continue cleaning up. Let some of this brush dry up and start a fire. You know, as I'm walking around out here and I'm looking at the damage and what I had to do as far as starting to clean up, you can see how that tree was leaning up there on the tree house. And this thing is pretty big. Let me get near the end of it. You can see here where I put my foot across it. This is a pretty good size. Now if this thing were to fall on you, that trunk were to fall on you, that would either seriously mess you up or possibly kill you. So that just makes me think, what are we doing with our kids? What are we doing with the next generation? We need to teach them how to do dangerous things and how to do those things safely. Whether it's like I did here, first using a big knife to delimb the tree, cutting it up with a chainsaw as much as I could, getting some of the branches that were digging into the ground, but still leaving what was necessary to support it so it didn't come crashing down. Then I was able to get in here with my riding lawnmower and put a chain on it and slide it off, because that big branch was wedged between the trunk and the treehouse. So, you know, this, I look at it as a relatively simple thing. It wasn't that hard for me to do, but if you didn't know what you're doing, this would be something that would be almost impossible. So it's not just limited to things like this, you know, for cleanup. How about carrying a pocket knife? Using a fixed blade? Those are all things that could potentially be dangerous. How about the chainsaw that I had to use? Woodworking tools, you know, chisels, hammers, axes. You know, what are we doing with the next generation to prepare them for things that can come your way? So it was just a little reminder that as we see with this next generation coming up, they don't want to do anything. Very few of them have mechanical abilities, and very few of them are learning how to do things like this. So we need to make sure we do our part and teach them how to do dangerous things without it being dangerous.